This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 761. I am Brian Kilby. This is the second episode of 2021, but the first episode we're recording in 2021. Weird how that works out. No, it's not. No, it's not. We'll forget that. Well, it's the second episode that we're recording in 2021, but it's the first one that we're doing live to tape. That's not even true because the anniversary show is live to tape.
Try again. No, think about what you just said really carefully and try.
It's the second episode of 2022.
The first time we're streaming in 2022.
There you go.
Yes, there you go. I'm Brian Kilby. That was Matt, Chris, Diecast, Don, and Rob. And I think I said 2021. That's probably going to happen.
You did the both first times.
Oh, well. You know, funny enough, I've written one check. I don't even know why. I have one place where I have to write a check. And I did write 2022.
Thank you for that. My bank account appreciates it.
No, it was to the dog groomer. They just don't take debit cards.
That's weird. Kind of.
Well, it's a mom and pop shop.
Paycheck.
Well, that's weird. I don't have a debit card. I've used one twice in my life, and I write checks.
You're joking.
No, I do not have a debit card for anywhere.
You are
well, you credit. You got credit cards though.
I got credit cards. Yeah, we get cash back on the house card, so I'm trying to use that for what I can to at least get something back. But no,
You're joking.
I have never had a debit card. Do not want one, and I have carbon checks, so I write checks or I pay by phone.
Wait, you have carbon paper?
No, I have checks the checks with the built-in carbon copy.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's carbon paper.
There's not really carbon paper anymore. Like it works different.
Oh, it's duplicate checks. It's duplicate checks.
Do you need a time platform to get more of those?
No, I can get them from my bank whenever I want. They're free with
You're that 90-year-old guy I get behind at some register, and I'm like, why are they writing a check?
No.
They write the check. The machine will do the check.
No,
all they do is sign it.
Nobody uses checks.
No.
I don't do checks in stores for stuff. I do it for paying bills, like mailing in bills and stuff like that.
Okay, but no, it's not 2021 or 2022. It's 1953.
But no, I have.
What even is this conversation?
I don't know, but I'm fascinated by it.
I have never had a debit card. I do not trust them. I do not want one. I would rather write a check or pay by phone.
If you have a good enough bank that they will continue to mint carbon paper checks for you because you don't want to use a debit card, they will probably also give you adequate protections against your debit card being, misused by someone.
I just avoid the problem. Don't even worry about it.
Because I have to feel here that they are literally just bringing in those carbon paper checks special for you, Don.
Okay, sorry.
I don't when I signed up for my current checking account, I said specifically, so we can do this and I don't have to order checks, right? I can just do this all electronically, yes? And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't even have an online banking account. Well, I do, but I had to deactivate it because there was a hacking attempt a couple of years ago. So, but no, I'd rather go to the bank and take care of everything in person or pay.
Don, you know what's less secure than online banking? Doing everything in person. That's actually less secure than doing it online.
Right, but if something pops up, someone will remember speaking with me, and then we'll be able to work.
Sure, they will.
No, I mean, if anybody else said that, I would say, no, there's no way that somebody's going to remember you specifically. But this is Don, and yes, they're going to remember talking to Don.
You're the only one who writes a check. Yes, we remember
check. Yeah, I remember him.
Look, those check carbons are known around the bank as the Ferguson order. They will remember him.
He's Headmaster Don. They definitely remember him.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So how'd that dog grooming go, Brian?
Yeah, so Patreon. Hey, we posted some podcasts to Patreon. We have a few more posting this week. We're doing catch up on a couple of shows because the holidays were a killer for me. We're behind on a couple of things. So this week is super heavy on new podcasts. Also, we're going to make a change to the Patreon to our touch tier because here in about a month, we will be fulfilling the remaining trading cards, and then I am taking them off forever as a reward, and they're being replaced with because I don't think I've actually even added it, the History on the Fives benefit. So if you think that you ever want the RSC trading cards, you have like 3 weeks to sign up, because I'm not going to make any more. They will not be fulfilled again. This will be the one-time deal, and this is not cheap, so I'm not doing it ever again. So no more physical rewards for the podcast Patreon. It'll be digital podcast related stuff. So
I mean, the trading cards were a great idea when we came up with them in like November of 2019.
well, the issue is more
Before
like
everything just
the
went
issue is
crazy.
expenses related to the podcast and how things go, less so than the timing of that. So yeah, it's just it's killer. I'm just getting this done, knocking it out, taking the hit, and moving on.
Maybe we should do some NFTs.
No,
That was Anthony.
Abs-
Yes,
I can't swear on the show,
so
I don't even think that there are ways that NFTs could be environmentally sound. I just think they're a horrible
Well.
idea. I just think that, generally speaking, but we talked about that before. I didn't say are environmentally sound. I said could be. So because people always will say, well, actually, no. But I just think NFTs are a bad idea. So yeah, we're not doing that. Not doing that. But thank you for the suggestion, Diecast. Patreon.com/TFRadio.
that was from
It
the
was a
chat.
non-ETF.
Oh, a non-ETF. Thank you for the recommendation. No,
No, thank you. We're good.
no, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So, so patreon.com/TFRadio. Also, I guess buy a shirt. TFRadio.net/shirt. There's a lot up there. They're awesome. I like them. We're going to do our predictions this episode for 2022.
Just a little bit later.
Yeah, it'll be later after the
Are you
news.
sure it's not predictions for 2021, Brian?
No, it's not predictions for 2021.
Oh, okay.
So in our 2021 year in review, we did recap our predictions, and was it Diecast that came out on
I
top?
think so.
Yeah.
I was a close second, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I think you were.
Now, there is one thing, Brian, just to let our viewers know, this spiffy denim shirt that I'm wearing is not yet available on the t-shirt shop. I've got to get with John DeLuna on that.
I need to check to see if TeePublic will fulfill shirts in denim. If so,
No. So this, to everybody watching and listening, this denim shirt I wore for many years and thought I had gotten rid of it when my fiance had found it while we were unpacking. So this is my new show shirt. This will be reserved exclusively for the show.
So for this and other riveting Headmaster Don content, be sure to become a patron so you get exclusive access to the pre-show podcast, where Don already explained this once
yes,
tonight.
this is true.
Content.
Content, yes.
Quality Dawn tent.
Also, the shirt must be called Headmaster Denim.
I mean, it's such a free-flowing train of thought. You could call it Al Dante, and go.
Jacob wants to know, Don, did you buy that with a check?
No, I think it was on
Probably.
clearance for $4 when I bought it. I think.
Of course
I
it
paid
was.
cash. I paid cash.
Nice.
So let's jump to the news. Toy Fair is canceled.
Okay,
What?
hands up anyone who is surprised.
I am, because last week they said it wasn't canceled.
Well, this
they were
week they said
trying
it's canceled
real.
and it's all our fault.
Yeah, they were trying really hard to keep it going, despite that. By the time they had said that last week,
Who backed out?
Walmart, Target, Amazon as
That's the whole
buyers had all
point.
backed out.
They're the whole reason
have-
we have Toy Fair.
Hasbro had backed out a while ago. I think.
Hasbro backed out fairly early as a presenter. I'm not sure who else presenting in the major companies backed out, but honestly, that's less relevant for Toy Fair having a point, because Hasbro, Mattel, what have you, Bandai even have relationships with the major retail outlets already, and they can do their like direct presentations with them if they have to present their year's product
Yeah.
lines. Toy Fair is not as important for those companies. But like these three major biggest retail buyers in the country had all backed out by the time Toy Fair last week, the Toy Association last week said, we're still going to be doing this.
Yeah. No. If the retailers back out, there's no point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, of course, okay, so the website, The Toy Book, originally brought this to our attention through, we saw it through their tweet from their article. They copied a lot of the Toy Association's press release content to, give the context for it. One thing they decided to leave out, I think very charitably, was the Toy Association specifically quoting one of their people saying that, they were trying really hard with, their several hundred smaller presenters that, certainly would still want to present. But it was all of the social media people spreading baseless rumors that drove the last nail into it. So as Rob said, the Toy Association blamed it on us for spreading rumors about how it was unsafe.
You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, well, I mean, so honestly, though, before they started planning this, after they started planning this, like all the Omicron stuff happened.
Yeah.
And again, and Omicron is 4 times as contagious as Delta, which is 4 times as contagious as OG COVID. So yeah.
Omicron and Deltacron had a baby. Is that what happened?
I've heard about that, and I don't know specifics around it. I haven't bothered to look it up, but yeah. So there is people are affectionately calling what Deltacron, is that the?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Omicron and the Delta variant, but now it's now what is it?
It's a bad time.
Yeah.
Something cron at the end.
Okay, so the Toy Book has been following the Toy Fair developments, especially since Omicron surfaced, with respect to how that's going to impact whether there would be a show or not. And last week, after they had covered that Hasbro had already decided to back out of it, some of the other smaller but still decently sized toy companies that were still booked for the show were trying to figure out, like, is there a way to not do this now? Like, we shouldn't be doing this. It's not safe for my people or the other people that are going to be presenting. Like, the thing we have to remember is that the companies pay the Toy Association for a place in Toy Fair, and if they can ever get that refunded at all after they book, like, it would be way, way late in that process under any normal circumstances to be trying to do that now. Yeah. So a lot of these smaller companies were having to weigh, do I eat that cost, which could be a big part of the books for the year, or do I go and put myself and my employees at risk by getting potentially exposed to this, despite, the best precautions and best intentions of everyone involved? Like, yeah. The Toy Association wants to make it out like all of their remaining presenters wanted this to happen, but I don't think that was the case.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for us, Diecast is not going to be at risk this year, and we'll be on our butts again.
I'm fully vaccinated.
Well,
now, I know that doesn't mean you can't still.
Oh, you can absolutely still get it. You're going to be much better, prepared if it happens. Yeah.
I'm definitely in the camp of everyone should get vaccinated if you can get vaccinated, because it's the only way that this thing's going to get any better.
Well, I fully endorse.
It's definitely a factor in things getting better. I don't think it's the only thing that's going to fix it.
Also at this point, I don't want to get too far into this. I'm not a doctor, but it looks like it's endemic or going to be endemic. So we've just got to figure this out as we go. But get vaccinated, please.
Yeah.
Toy Fair. I don't know what Hasbro's going to do. What did they? So last year was that the fan?
We had
the Fan Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I imagine something remarkably similar this year.
Yeah. So we didn't do a live stream around Fan Fest. We did we ended up doing a live stream separate from, just as a make good, basically.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something sort of Toy Fair streamish.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Like, we did it at the different time last year. I would like to go back and do it at our normal time, which is about a month from now. We'll figure it out. But we'll do our live stream, annual live stream, whether it's tied to Toy Fair or not. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So there's a lot of stuff.
Good times.
There's a lot of stuff that popped up that Chris posted about a week ago.
Hey, good news. It was a week ago, which means I don't remember most of it.
So there's a new CEO of Hasbro. Brian Goldner, of course, passed away. Chris Cox, you can get your giggles in now if that's your thing. Which I didn't. Yeah. So I don't know a thing about him.
So
he used to head up Wizards of the Coast, I believe.
Oh,
good.
Well, when Wizards of the Coast started doing good, he was in charge
good.
of them.
Okay, so for all the stuff that Wizards of the Coast has been doing the last couple of years, he wasn't there. Hopefully.
So his background says he was over Wizards of the Coast and also had sometime between then and now been working in Hasbro's internal gaming division.
He designed D&D 4E.
Interesting.
No, I'm kidding. That would. I love 4th edition. I know a lot of people didn't.
In any case, though, he is credited in the sources I saw with taking Wizards and actually, upping their profile, making them, more profitable than they had been. So, at the very least, he knows how to make a company work.
A company that's the size of Wizards of the Coast.
I'm not saying there won't be a learning curve here potentially, but, he doesn't have a bad background, is basically what I'm getting at.
Well, good. I mean, hopefully you wouldn't get promoted to CEO if you did. But who knows?
There is such a thing as failing upwards.
Usually not that far.
Well, no, certainly not in a company that's otherwise as competent as Hasbro.
No, I'm not going to say that a company as competent as Hasbro wouldn't have people failing upwards, because it certainly would.
But not that far up.
Not that far.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, failing up happens in every company, and God, it's a pain. It can.
In a moderately smaller disaster of a company, somebody totally could fail all the way up to the top.
Oh yeah, they could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens at the country level too. New Authentics toys are on the way, seen in stock images provided by JT Prime, including some reused Rescue Bots merchandise. Interesting.
Yeah, the little pop-up bracer things in the first 2 pictures, those are Rescue Bots Academy toys, redecoed.
Were they originally going to be, or what kind of packaging do those have? Does it look like a cardboard backer?
Yeah, that's definitely like a tray for a shelf. So I'm assuming these are going to be loose with a tag or something on them for a barcode.
Yeah, tag makes sense. Yeah, Hasbro's been doing tags for things like those little rubber toys at Walmart.
Well, look at the 4th and 5th pictures.
More of those.
Yeah, more vinyl toys for Walmart.
But evergreen and less G1-ish.
Yeah, I mean these are all Authentics products, so they will be using evergreen designs except for the mini racer things, which again are Rescue Bots toys. Like for instance, they're the RC, and that is actually, it used to be Whirl, Rescue Bots Whirl.
Okay.
So there's not mold changes or anything.
Yeah.
They're just straight recolors. It works though.
Yeah, I honestly like the little racers. I don't like vinyl figures. They're not those vinyl figures.
Yeah, not those vinyl
The
figures.
masks. My kids love masks like this, so that's not bad. So let's see here. Core class, Studio 86, Studio Series 86, Spike. Well, that's interesting. He transforms.
What about
does.
Daniel?
Probably
Easy
coming in a
repeat.
later assortment. Yeah.
Yeah, these are great. I'm happy to see that it looks like they fixed the arms where with the Masterpiece that came with Bumblebee, it was always falling off. The arms were just popping off the ball joints, and they fixed that on this. So I'm actually excited to get these because I really like the Masterpiece exosuit, but this one seems better than that.
It really does.
Yeah, there's definitely no ball joints in these arms. There might be at the hip joints and the knees. The knees especially, because you can see the stress relief slot in the front of the joint. That's a typical hallmark of a ball joint hinge.
I hate that. I mean, really like this.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I actually really like this.
Yeah, these are
I don't care about the I don't care about the first assortment of Studio Series core class figures. I don't need Ravage Box and Baby Shockwave, but this, yes,
Would
I will have.
Would Daniel be any different or just a packaging variant?
I mean, they could just do a packaging variant and get away with it, but Hasbro being what Hasbro is today, they will have a distinct head sculpt that you can tell is different, but you can't actually tell what is different about it.
Rounder.
Smaller.
Yeah.
Different hairstyle.
Yep.
I mean, if they want to get really particular, the whole suit should be very slightly smaller. So
It's just Spike's old exosuit.
yeah.
So
And
I mean, I don't know if is it physically smaller in the
if
movie?
you look in the
so.
movie, yes, it is.
Oh, there you go. It should be smaller then.
I mean, realistically, and I use that word reluctantly, it shouldn't be any smaller because by the time Spike would have had that his first exosuit, he already would have had a fully adult body.
He would have been an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
kind
mean,
of
he
what
was
I meant.
15 in 1984. He was 15 in 1984, which means he was practically 80% of full size at that point.
Yeah.
We only grow out from then on.
Basically.
Yeah.
A few lucky among us get a little taller.
He could have what,
but mostly just
acromegaly?
out.
He I mean, that was
What?
never presented in the show, but he could. Like the gigantism disease. Okay.
That's an interesting direction to take. That, yeah.
Okay. So, first leak look at Trainbot. Is it Getsuei? I'm never good.
Getsuei.
Getsuei. I'm never good at
Getsuei.
pronouncing Japanese names.
We'll talk more about that
Talk
in a
more
little
about
bit.
that one.
Because I believe I put this news desk up on Thursday last week.
Yeah.
Probably. And the due date for Getsuei was actually today. So good news.
It didn't happen.
No, it was on time.
Oh,
Is it up for pre-order?
It is.
Okay, I need.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay, so Indyman Toys dropped Legacy Buzzworthy Bumblebee and Coronation Starscream stock images.
Yeah, Legacy, Buzzworthy, and the one Studio Series toy.
What is
Now,
new?
So there's only a little bit here that's particularly interesting. I will start with the lesser interesting, which is down toward the bottom of this pack of photos, which is that the stock photos of Cliffjumper they have clear windows.
Oh, it does.
But
that's
we
a
should.
mistake.
It is a mistake. It has to be a mistake because this has been on store shelves in Asia already. Many people have copies of this in hand legitimately, and it has the opaque plastic roof with the solid blue windows.
Is there any way that could be a running change?
I mean, there can always be a running change, but more likely what has happened here is that when Hasbro put in the order for this, a lot of times the stock photos are of early production samples, especially when it's a recolored toy in new packaging, because you can skip a lot of the test shot stage stuff with that because you already know the mold works. So very likely what happened here is that the factory either misread the order or intentionally ignored part of the order, thinking it was a mistake on Hasbro's part and ran it with the clear plastic anyway. Because all the rest of the deco on this is correct to what the Buzzworthy Cliffjumper looks like. It's just that clear plastic piece that's wrong. So it's very possible for the first samples they ran, they just put clear plastic through it anyway because that's what they were used to with this order.
Okay.
And from that point, Hasbro will be able to say, no, run this with this plastic, hopefully they actually put in the order when they put the order in. But, they had to prepare the stock photos, and this was a sample they had to do that, and that's what fit their time frame. So, colors and styles may vary. But we know actual produced toys for this packaging have the opaque parts. So we should expect that they will all have the opaque parts.
So they have the opaque
there will not
parts.
be a running change. I mean, yeah, if you know where to look for them.
What else?
The other more interesting thing here is Galvatron. So Kingdom Galvatron's reshipping in the first leader wave of Legacy, and the stock photos they have here have no battle damage.
That's got to be a mistake.
I
right?
didn't even notice that.
It is completely clean. There's no battle damage, and there is not the tampograph on the cannon to look like the energy charging effect. All of the tampographs for that have been either not applied or intentionally left off.
Wow.
That's actually
Okay,
really
so-
smart.
If it actually ends up being this, so like this is still not for sure because this is still stock photos, and just as easily as they could say, let's
Yes.
leave some of these deco effects off, it could just be that they didn't send the sample of Galvatron that they sent to Hasbro for verification over to the tampograph department to get the last pieces of the deco put on. But at the same time, it is still very plausible that this is an intentional deco variation, and they could make that happen in this case, unlike with Astro Train. So you remember Astro Train shipped back to back at the end of Siege and the start of Earthrise. Somebody who was at, I think, New York Comic Con that fall when the Earthrise toys were unveiled, asked about whether the Earthrise version of Astro Train could not have the damage deco applied to it. It could be a clean deco version. And John Warden said, no, we have to run them all the same so that anyone who buys one will know they're getting the same toy. Now, one way to interpret that is just they want to have uniformity across the product for whoever buys it at whatever point. The other way to interpret it is the Astro Trains were probably produced in one extra large size batch all at once. And then part of them were put in one kind of packaging and part were put in the other. And there would have been no way to definitively have the correct Astro Trains go to the correct boxes if they had deco differences on them.
Another interpretation, sort of similar to the first one, would be that when John was the head of design for Transformers, that's what he wanted.
Yeah, that is absolutely another very, very likely option in this. It is a difference in intent with who's over the team now.
Yeah. That'd be my take, honestly.
But also from a production practicality standpoint, the Galvatron situation here does lend itself to an intentional variant because the Kingdom production of the standard Deco Galvatron was months ago. There's been 2 other versions run since then. So there's absolutely no problem about accidentally putting battle damaged ones in boxes that don't show it or vice versa. So until someone probably in Southeast Asia finds this on a store shelf and buys it and opens it and takes pictures for us to show us what's actually in this windowless box, we're not going to know for sure whether this is on purpose or not. And then, of course, if it is on purpose, we're all going to have to sit here and think really hard. Do we want to spend another $53 to buy?
I don't have to think about that. I would like to have a clean version with correctly assembled shoulders.
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
That's why I got the select, so I have to decide if I want the animation colors or not.
Yep, I do.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. The other problem with this, of course, that we have to keep in mind is that with the windowless boxes now, buying this off of a store shelf is going to be a riskier proposition because if somebody got there before you and decided to just switch their Kingdom Galvatron for a new clean Legacy Galvatron, you may not be able to tell that immediately depending how these boxes are put together.
So that's why I won't be buying windowless boxes off of a retail shelf.
I'm just going to tell you right now, I've never liked people who go and they'll open a package in the store and look at it. I'm going to become that person. If I want to buy something like this, I'll crack it open and I'll look at it.
I think we're going to have to just to be on the safe side, so we're not getting because what was it? One of the people that follow us on Twitter got Kingdom Rodimus off the store shelf, and he got Hot Rod
Force Megazord.
Was that what?
That might have been a Skylynx actually, but yeah, somebody else got Kingdom Rodimus, and there was a Hot Rod and a bottle of water inside.
Water bottle, yeah. Like, if I'm going to buy it and if I open it and it's the wrong thing, I'll tell somebody. They're not going to care, but I'll tell them anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if the boxes stay assembled the way that like the Kingdom boxes are assembled, where there's regular flaps on the top and bottom and they're held together with tape, you'll have an easier time to tell if it's been tampered with before. If they're like the Studio Series boxes, the bottoms of those are 4 flaps that are just flipped together. There's no tape. And it's not that difficult to open them from the bottom and leave no sign.
That's just like baseball cards. They'll, like the blaster boxes in the store, a lot of them are put together that way, and just people will pop in, take all the cards out, put the box back on the shelf and walk away.
And to Matt's point about buying these online, I would also then be very careful about buying like leader class toys from, say, Amazon.
Amazon's awful for that stuff.
Yeah, Amazon is much more likely to just maybe relabel as a warehouse deals thing, maybe not, depends what condition it comes back to them in, but like you're more likely to get a return product from Amazon than from one of our other better fan channel retailers.
I just got a Amazon warehouse deal a month ago of something that I had bought normally on normal Amazon retail. The warehouse deal one had been smashed and the irrelevant parts taken out, so
yeah,
and I'm certain, like, I returned it. I'm certain it probably got put back in the pile for sale.
Hopefully with a more accurate description of its condition than what they presented to you.
Yeah, it was basically atomized.
That's the trick. That's the trick with warehouse deals. Like, you kind of have to learn. Yeah, it can be awesome. You have to learn how to read the condition descriptions, because they're generic, but you can kind of get a sense for, if you know the kind of product you're buying, you can get a sense for the way they describe it. Yeah, the way they describe it will give you a lot more information than you think it will. With something like a transformer, when it says that there's like minor cosmetic damage, but it comes in the original packaging, that means the box is smashed a little bit, but probably the contents have not been tampered with. So there's your quick tip for today.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so final news item: MPG-02 Getsuei officially revealed and going to Amazon Japan right now.
So the first thing probably people are going to want to know about this is the price. The list price is 16,000 yen.
Okay.
Shoki's list price was 18,000 yen, but don't get too excited about this because Getsuei is much smaller. Now, remember, these are HO scale trains because these Masterpiece Trainbots are, of course, high detail model train toys that just happen to also turn into robots and legs. The kind of locomotive that Getsuei is about 40% smaller than the bullet train component that Shoki is. So what I figured out was that where Shoki is going to be 11 and a half inches long in train mode, Getsuei is about 7. So the robot mode may or may not stretch out to be a similar height, but it's going to be a smaller, lesser thing, probably lesser engineering too, because train to leg is a lot less of a stretch than, say, train to balled up robot torso. There's a lot less contortion having to go on there. So it is a little bit cheaper, but just based on those facts, I would say the price is actually equivalent to what Shoki started out as before Shoki got price reductions. So it's still expensive. The plus side to this is that probably the Trainbot price points are not going to be uniform, and very well maybe Shoki will be the one most expensive out of the whole group, because I believe all the other ones can be smaller. Maybe not whichever one forms Raiden's shorts, but like the limbs, I think probably will all be more in this range than with Shoki's original 190.
With shipping, it's 19,799 yen right now as of 9:06 p.m.
So what's that work out to be, like 200?
Yeah, a little less.
I'd say like 170, 175, 180. Yeah. The dollar to yen exchange rate right now is actually really good.
It's been good running for a while.
Yeah, just lately though, like it's been running like 115 to 116 yen to the dollar, which is very strong.
And I broke my Mandarake habit, so I should go. I haven't bought a thing off Mandarake in months.
Plus, you should go look right now, Brian.
I am.
Plus, Chris, we had talked about some shared engineering. So once we get another arm or another leg combiner part, we might can see how much of this shared engineering and see if that has anything to do with the price, whether that may be part of this or not.
Somebody bought Minerva. Sorry. I had looked at Mandarake recently. They had a Minerva up there.
So, like, I'm not familiar enough with the original Trainbots to know which ones might be able to reasonably share parts as masterpieces. But, I would tend to think with, leg to leg and arm to arm, they would probably try to keep as much in common as they can in order to keep the production costs down on it. But like again, Getsuei is fairly small to train. I think probably it's 16,000 yen is probably the low end we're going to see for these Trainbots. I don't think we're going to see them dip beyond that, unless again they have to knock the price of this down, like Shoki, for whatever reason that happened.
90,000 yen for the BotCon 2005 set. Sorry, that seems crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean that's expensive until you remember that somebody had to bring that to Japan. Yeah.
And that ratchet from Toe Line, though both that ratchet and Ironhide from Toe Line are still strong figures.
Yeah. Sorry.
I really like Toe Line as a mold more than it deserves. It's a neat little toy.
Cool. Okay. Any other thoughts on Getsuei?
So Getsuei is expected to ship in September, which is 3 months after Shoki. So probably expect the next one to go up for pre-order around April with delivery date in December. December or January, yeah. And then in that case, unless they do
they could spend all of 2023 getting us the rest of the Raiden set, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And unless they do Raiden shorts as the next figure, it's going to be sometime into 2023 before you can ever combine your Trainbots.
Yeah.
Okay.
We good with news?
We're
40 minutes in, so hopefully.
Oh, well, there you go.
So let's jump to predictions. I don't care who goes first. Dawn, do you want to go first? Dawn.
Thank you, Brian. I would love to go first. I would love to go first.
So as a house rule, we have 2 to 3 predictions. I'm asking the guys that we do. One is a bold prediction, and I coached everybody this morning on predictions that are too specific. And I kind of wanted to use my hypothetical as an actual prediction, but I did not. There's not going to be an official Kiss Players revival in 2022, maybe 2023, but we'll see. So Don, go ahead.
All righty. I predict that we will be seeing more G2 selects being either made available or announced in 2022, such as we will finally get Buster and Hydra from Power of the Primes, Darkwind and Dreadwing, because it would fit with this current outside the U.S. look that they're doing, especially with Star Saber and Death Saurus. That would be a good gateway to finally get those 2 in selects, which I'm still shocked we have not got yet. I think we'll be getting a G2 Jazz at some point from the studio series for mold. And I also think we'll be doing what we talked about last week. We will get G2 Starscream, but his partner, if they do a 2-pack, will be Earth Mode Sunstorm, since those 2 do kind of have a history based on, at least on the Dreamwave fiction, something there.
Is this all one prediction?
Well, I'm just saying in general, we're seeing more.
Yeah,
G2
that's a good question though. Is this one prediction or?
This is all one prediction. Just in general,
okay.
We'll be seeing more G2 selects.
I think Don read your email backwards, Brian.
Don read my email backwards. There we go.
I mean, I'm saying I am going to go big or I'm going to fail miserably, but I feel strongly about this.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I am looking forward to seeing how Don's Transformers toy line fan fiction comes out for 2023.
Well, Don did really good last year in getting like a off the wall prediction right. So hopefully his G2 Starscream and Sunstorm is the one he gets right this year.
Yeah.
That's the one that benefits me the most.
Yes, I have my doubts about Don's prediction coming true there, but I hope it does because I want all of those things.
Yeah.
All right. We will be getting announced or released a commander or leader class Death Saurus to go with Star Saber and or a Tiger Hawk, because we have Tigertron, we have Air Razor. A Tiger Hawk seems to make the most sense thematically since both of his component characters have been released.
I like that one, Don, a lot, actually.
My bold prediction this year, either as part of a mass release series or as a Hasbro Pulse shared exclusive, we will get Marvel Legends Circuit Breaker.
Okay.
That is a bold prediction. I will give you that.
Indeed.
And my mega bold prediction this is my mega bold prediction. We will get in selects announced a release Commander class Skylinks as the flying Decepticon Purple Griffin.
Okay, that's a repeat.
Well, Don needs some hill to die on since the RC thing is like, half fulfilled.
Yeah. Chris, do you want to go next?
Yes, I will go next. So I'm going to start no fun, but very plausible. Prices will increase again. We'll have $25 deluxes and $40 Voyagers by the fall.
That was going to be one of mine too.
Mine too.
As adjacent to this, this is part of the same prediction. Many of us will claim this will end our active collecting, but we will all still end up buying everything anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't buy everything now.
No, but I know who I'm talking to.
Okay.
You know who you are.
The $23 deluxes did it for me.
Actually, which one of us is that?
Me.
Okay.
Okay, so number 2. The last 3 Trainbot individual releases will be canceled and instead solicited as a made-to-order box set only.
Oh.
Well, as long as they're still available somehow.
Yeah, you'll have to pony up the $750 or $800 for all 3 at once. They will only be offered for pre-order once, and if you don't get them at that point, you will never have a Raiden.
That's a good one.
So congratulations and have fun with that if it comes true. My bold prediction, and I have to give some credit to Diecast for inspiring this one. Just to subvert some expectations, Masterpiece Stepper will be announced with Jazz nowhere to be seen. So we'll get our Masterpiece Porsche body finally, but it won't come out as Jazz.
That's funny. Okay. Matt, you want to go?
Yeah. So we will have another Transformers HasLab project announced before Star Saber is ever even released.
Okay.
So before the end of the year, probably around August or September. So we'll have another Transformers HasLab. And Transformers Rise of the Beast pushed back to Christmas season 2023.
Okay, cool. Rob.
Well, most one of mine is taken because I agree with Chris. We're going to get a price increase again.
Yeah.
My other one, my bold prediction is probably a little too specific, but I'm going to go with it anyway. The next HasLab project will be announced in 2022, and it will be a new G1 Titan Metroplex.
Ooh. I'll back that.
I like that one.
I went vague, but yeah.
And that's all I got.
Okay. Diecast.
All right. It's funny. I was thinking about the price increase too, but I was like, nah, they're not going to do that. It's not going to happen this year. But
yes, it is.
That's not a prediction. My predictions are we learn of a Titan Arc redeco. Probably going to be a 2023 product.
It'll be on someone's desktop on a screen share in 2022 is what you're saying.
Yeah, even a leak. Like I kind of count the leaks if they're kind of like, well-known people who give us stuff like data leaks or something. Not just some guy who says, oh, they're going to redo the Titan Arc. We learn of a new Transformers show geared towards kids.
We have a couple on the way, don't we? Already?
Do we?
Yeah.
Other than not the Netflix stuff.
There's a Nickelodeon.
That's the BotBots
Netflix
one. There's a Nickelodeon one coming.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
All right, skip that one then, because I wasn't aware. The next part of Legacy Toy Line will get away from making everything G1ified. So whatever is after that first step of Legacy, the first year of Legacy, typically when we get into the next chapter, I think they might get away from the G1ifying everything, because they're not. I can't see them doing that for 3 years.
Are you sure? Because we've had it for like 15 years already.
I know, but yeah, I don't know. And then my bold prediction is Don gets a Supreme Cheetor.
We can make that one happen.
Like shipped to him, not a new Supreme Cheetor, just he gets one from somebody.
Is this a
I
prediction
will-
or a threat, diecast?
I will use reverse tracking. I will find out who sent
I
me
have your
that
address. I
abomination.
can do it right now.
and I will find you, diecast, and I will end you.
Is Supreme Cheetor on Amazon? I'm just gonna add it to your wish list right now if it is.
No,
It was on.
I
Someone
will.
found
No,
one on eBay, brand new in the box for $39.99.
I don't
with
want
free
one.
shipping.
I hate that figure. Do not send me that, or I will come by
Diecast.
and I will shove it somewhere.
Diecast, I forgot. Thank you for tweeting that tweet about Don needing a Supreme Cheetor. That was wonderful.
His got broken in a tragic accident.
So Don is very like Don. I'm not saying this in a negative way, but like you're very willing to try to help people out and tag people.
Yeah,
like
I
if somebody
tagged
has
you in
something
all
for
those
sale-
beautiful AFA created GI Joes. You didn't buy any.
No, but like I find it a little awkward when somebody's like, I really, I got to make my rent and I need to sell this toy really badly, and it's like, hey Brian, you want this? And I'm like, oh God, Don. So like I did take some extra pleasure when Diecast tweeted that out about the Cheetor, and that was lovely. I made a point to retweet that from the RSC account and the my account. So that was good. Sorry. Don, you okay?
I'm just prime.
Don, you're a wonderful sport and a beautiful human being. And there's no Supreme Cheetors on Amazon, unfortunately, so I can't add it to your wish list. Okay. Diecast, you done?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay,
I was
I'm
having a
going-
hard time this year.
Yeah, I'm going last, not because I
Me
think
too.
they're definitive or anything. It's just that I'm polite. So not specific on what they are or the timing, but 2 Transformers HasLab projects for 2022.
Ooh.
Two. Masterpiece Jetfire will be 60,000 yen. And
Ow.
my bold / mostly specific prediction, the Pulse exclusive repaint line for 2022, which comparable to Shattered Glass for 2021, will be G2 themed. I would
We
love
can
that.
only
Down for
hope.
that.
That would be wonderful. Originally, I said Machine Wars, then Machine Wars or G2 themed. But if I'm going to be specific, I just have to,
Although Machine Wars would be pretty fun.
Oh, it would
Yeah.
be. But I think G2 would be the most like Shattered Glass. Or G2 would be the most like Shattered Glass. So,
Well, if they did Machine Wars though, we could get that Spinister toy again, a Sandstorm.
Yeah,
yeah, it's true.
I was just thinking the same thing.
we would get Hoist, the Hoist mold as the 2 tow trucks.
Mhm.
And if they did a Machine
Of course, we
Wars
did the
Optimus Prime, we could get a Select Thunderclash.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
See, I think the Machine Wars thing really has more like definitive legs to it than G2 because like the molds are all right there and you can really just like nail this down in one small little package.
Okay.
Well,
there you go.
but here's the thing. I want more G2. So by default, Hasbro will not do it, which will default back to Brian's more Machine Wars theme.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm good
So,
exactly.
so it
Exactly.
works out that way.
Yeah.
So,
The
okay.
desire
So,
sensor's real.
so since Don, you want more G2, but you didn't get it. What did you get this week or the last 2 weeks?
Awesome. Okay. Well, then,
segue.
off topic, my one off topic this week, I got one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite Marvel comics, Tigra, from, of course, one of the best
They
comics
have
Marvel's ever
scraped
done.
the bottom of the barrel.
Yes, Avengers West Coast.
Avengers Academy, not these Avengers knockoffs you keep talking about. There,
No,
Matt.
no, the Avengers knockoffs are Force Works. This was Avengers West Coast.
I don't have a problem with
different.
I don't have a problem with Tigra specifically, but like as far as like toys that go in that retro packaging, which I love, Tigra is like really toward the bottom.
Yeah, but
of-
I mean,
no,
I-
Avengers Academy are the ones that got knocked off by Arcade.
Yeah. So that coming, but yeah, but all kidding aside, I think it's a really good looking figure, and I love this retro packaging, so I was able to finally pick her up. On topic, thanks to Sean Frost on Twitter, when I asked about adapters for Mirage, for Kingdom Mirage to get his shoulder launcher back in place, he referred me to JRC Designs on eBay, which is where I got my G2 Megatron shoulder connector that I forgot about. So I picked up the Mirage third-party Mirage, the shoulder adapter for the missile launcher, and the Galvatron hand covers in Canon mode, because it was basically a combined shipping. And I saved like almost $4 in just shipping by getting 2 things. Last week I took a toy run day down to Greensboro, stopped by my Acme Comics run by my good friend Jermaine, picked up.
Does Jermaine follow you on Twitter, Don?
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay,
I believe he does.
I was gonna say, I didn't think he did.
Yeah, picked up Reaction Galvatron for retail, and the one I got it in person because it was nice to see the card. They're unpunched, they're not blemished, which is that's an iconic Galvatron kind of pose. So they really nailed the pose on Galvatron.
But Don, if the card is unpunched, how are you going to hang it on the wall?
I'm working on that.
Don, I think Starcase is the company that makes those hard plastic shells. Those are G.I. Joe sized, so the G.I. Joe / Star Wars figures hold them perfectly.
Well, I've heard of that, and there's one thing I've heard about is these rails that you can slide the figure in top and bottom, so that way they're held.
That scares me.
That could damage the card.
Picture ledges would work, like an IKEA or whatever picture ledge.
Right. I haven't really had a chance to do a deep dive into all the options available, but I want to use something more than just thumbtacks in a wall.
So one thing you could get is the stands for putting commemorative plates on.
Those are easy to get too.
Yeah. One thing I thought about was the action figures, the stands that you get that have the little slot that you can slide things down into the slot to stand up. But I'm afraid it might mess up the card.
I don't know what those are. That scares me. Your best option is probably going to be a picture ledge or those star cases.
Or I'm thinking outside the box here, Don. Instead of in your collection room, take it to the kitchen, get a good strong magnet, and just put it on the fridge.
I actually like that idea. In a way.
I'm sure fiance would love that idea too.
Don, also don't. I'm not even joking when I say this. I'm only kind of joking. Also, don't ever rule out pegboard. Pegboard is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's just
you can make that work.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to, like I said, look at all the options yet. But I've got a lot of carded stuff. My G Gundam, my Visionaries, my GoBots, that I want to find some way to display them properly. But that's going to take more research.
Carded
and time.
Stuff is so hard.
I know, but there's so much lost art in card art for the older stuff. So.
For the longest time, I actually had stuff that was on pegboard and was like facings at a store, or like a planogram. So it was actually like several deep of toys, which you only get to really display the top ones. But it's also kind of cool though because it looks like a toy store.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I mean, I'll take a look and see what's what. I also picked up while I was there. I got Hot Rod. He's really the only two that I wanted because I've already got the Dead Optimus Prime that Target has exclusive, and I really don't need King Starscream. And again, it's more the card art, of course, with that again a very Hot Rod looking pose. Next up, last week I found Blaster. Walked into Target after work, looked down. There was a Blaster. I like him a lot. A lot of people have said he's a little fiddly. I'm not really seeing it.
They have no souls.
I mean, he's a box that turns into a robot. Like Soundwave, you can only do so much with that concept, but at least there's enough twists and turns, and everything hides away.
He is love.
Very well.
He is love.
Did everyone find him except me?
Yeah,
I haven't. So
yeah,
don't feel bad, Diecast. You're not alone.
Yeah,
okay, I retract my laughing because I don't want to laugh at Rob and Matt.
Yeah, so I like him a lot. He's a man that turns into a box, and he does it pretty damn well. I am a little worried.
In his poop.
I'm a little worried about eject and all that clear plastic, but we'll have to wait and see. There's not much we can do.
I don't even transform eject.
We're not gonna wait and see as long as you think, Don.
Oh.
Next up, pipes. I love this toy.
Aren't those colors great?
They're awesome.
I've always loved pipes, the look of pipes more than Huffer. And these whites are this stark, in your face white. These blues are your deep blues. And you got just a little bit of off-white there above on where the Autobot symbol is. He just looks great. The silver pipes. this is one of the most beautiful looking toys I've seen in a very long time in this price point. So
Hey, Don, I heard there's a decent review going around online of that figure, and I know how much you like to watch reviews. So,
but is it by somebody I can stand listening to? That's what
believe it or not.
No.
Believe it or not, I know you think it was dead, but RFC Reviews is back, and I did pipes.
Awesome.
Just for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. The last two things I got came in today from Chosen Prime. Ordered them Monday morning at 6 a.m. and they came today.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's super fast shipping. I got Cap, which is Fans Hobbies Hosehead.
Oh.
So now I have all three Headmaster Juniors. Minerva.
Did they get any better after Minerva?
I heard that's the best one.
Yeah. Well, now I haven't had a chance to open Ghost Shooter yet, but I've heard he's a phenomenally increased redoing of the Minerva mold, and I've heard good things about Cap.
I wanted to like that Minerva mold, but I just couldn't do it.
I see them maybe redoing that down the road with another pass. But I got him, and the last thing I got, also from Chosen Prime, because Diecast was telling me about how Fans Toys Perceptor is shipping soon. I don't care because I've got Jensen, which is X-Transbots Perceptor.
Jensen?
Well, that's the name. I'm not sure. I don't really know what the name references in relation to the character, but it's X-Transbots Perceptor, and I've seen really great reviews of him, and he's about $100 less than Fans Toys.
Jensen would be the perfect name for like a third-party blaster, because Jensen made garbage knockoff electronics in like the 80s and 90s.
I sold some of them at service. I sold some of them at service merchandise. So everybody drink.
Oh, great. Thank you.
But yeah, I've watched several reviews on him. There's some X-Transbots that's been doing a really remarkable job over the past few years with their QC, their paint. He's got tons of accessories, and I think he looks just as good as the Fans Toys for about $100 less.
Okay, cool.
All right, I'll go next.
Okay, yes, thank you.
So as you may have seen, I have Blaster. Blaster's a very solid robot. Everything works quite well. One unintended feature I like is that he has two elbow joints. One of them is a transformation joint, so it's not exactly a double elbow, because like there's the regular elbow, but then you also have an elbow that is 90 degrees opposed to that. And while you don't want to use both at the same time, but for some posing, like it totally works to use that transformation joint as an alternate elbow joint. So like it's definitely an unintended feature, but use it the right way and it's actually very useful. So like as the first toy designed for Legacy, because this is a Legacy toy that they moved up in the release schedule. So this is our first example of what a Legacy toy feels like. I'm actually very satisfied with this.
How are the joints really good? Yours?
Very good.
Oh yeah,
very good. Very
feels
solid.
So good. Oh, it's so great.
The QC overall on this is very, very good. The only like QC issue is just like a slight mishap with the tampergraph of the Autobot symbol, and even that is just the tiniest little flaw. Like it is exceptional QC on the one I got. I am so pleased with that.
My only issue is my own fault. So the back panel on the legs, or the red.
Yeah.
Basically a panel that goes over his arms to create like a full facing.
Those?
Yeah, and that little panel in the back, the one that flips up.
Yeah.
I tried to transform it without flipping it back to robot mode without flipping it up or without flipping it back down. And and it put a stress mark on it, but the stress mark is on the backside of it where you never see it in any mode.
And you could probably go with a hairdryer at that and ease that out of it.
That was my fault, but that was the only thing that like wasn't super intuitive after a few days of forgetting about it, going from boombox back to robot.
Yeah, like the transformation on it is the only thing that I feel like
it's okay.
it could have used a little bit more work, I think. One problem I have with it is that it's not particularly intuitive how to interface the legs and the arms. Because there's tabs on the back of the thighs, and there are grooves inside the forearm, and they're supposed to meet, and that helps to give the boombox mode the correct shape and hold the limbs in place. It is difficult to get those to both line up correctly and to stay in place, especially when you're trying to fit the facade panels together around the front of the boombox.
Yeah, okay, I see.
There's a lot of things that have to happen at one time, and it will go, but it doesn't feel like you're doing it the right way, even though you are.
Totally true. But like once it's together, it's insanely solid.
Yes, absolutely. It absolutely is. But if you do it wrong, it's going to be like this. It's going to be like bowed across the top.
I had
the handle is not going to fit together. Like you'll know it's I
had the first one right, and then the second one I had issues with, so I knew it had to be me because the first one was right.
Yeah, and the problem I was having at first too was one side would come together and feel like it was correct. And then when I would go do the other side, it would not fit together at all. So I would untransform it and start from the other side. That would go together fine. Then the side that worked the first time wasn't going together. And that's when I realized, like, there is some trick to this I'm missing. I actually had to go to the instructions to see, if it was depicting what I was supposed to do. And amazingly enough, it actually was giving me a clear enough idea of what needed to happen that I was able to make it work. And I think going forward, I'm not going to have that problem again.
Nice.
Design-wise, the only thing I have a mild exception to is the spring open tape deck door. And that's only because in the tape deck mode, it makes the door be a little bit raised on one side because of the spring pushing up on it. Like it just makes it look a little bit off kilter and asymmetrical. And it's not like it's put together wrong or anything. It's just because the spring is pushing up on the side where the spring is.
The only issue I have
thing I do have some issue with. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the only issue that I have with it is the fact that the mechanical piece on an actual tape deck would be a press down, but this is a push in.
Yeah.
So like if you're not thinking, you want to push down on it, but it's a press in. So.
Yeah, and I think if they had made it that way, they could have, instead of having a spring, made it be a pressure hinge.
Yes,
where there's a shallow nub that holds it closed, and you push down and it just overcomes that. It would have been a simpler mechanism. It would have alleviated both of our independent issues with it. Yeah. But as it is, like the mechanism works very well, with eject inside.
Yep.
Now, eject is its own problem because of all this clear plastic, and I will tell you, from the moment I took this out of the package, every joint, ball joint or pinned hinge, was stress marked already.
Joy.
Like big visible stress lines along the centers of the ball sockets and stress marks visible around the edges of the pins. So like that was without ever trying to pose or transform it even once. So it's going to be, your mileage may vary, but I don't feel good about this decision.
Where are the stress marks?
Down the center of the ball joint sockets. Like you might be able to see if it will focus. Do you see the light discoloration?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Down the center of the knee joints.
Oh wow.
Oh, I noticed those now. Yeah.
I've got them at the elbow joints too, not as deeper visible, and they're forming around the pins and the shoulders too.
This is why we keep complaining about all the clear plastic.
Yeah, Brian, I do want to go on record here. The next time you get the opportunity to talk to Hasbro, find a polite way to bring up that there's a lot of clear plastic in places that it shouldn't be, and we would like it if that would stop.
Sure.
Because I think that's an important talking point to bring up the next time, there's FaceTime with the design team who can actually address that.
I think that I told them that we don't need clear plastic anymore ever the last time we chatted, if I remember right. So
yeah, I mean, we might want to reframe the conversation around it is structurally compromising these toys.
Yeah.
They know it. They know it. I don't know why they do it. They are absolutely savvy to this. There's a reason. I just have no idea why it is.
But like with the chrome and the foil stickers, like the more noise we make about this to them, the more likely they are going to actually like move on our feedback.
Yeah.
Now, one thing real quick I want to comment on. One thing I liked that was a nice touch was the rotating speakers. It was small.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do that, but it really adds a little bit of extra character in each mode because he has dedicated looking speakers. But Chris, I wanted to ask you, a lot of people out there want a toy accurate head or maybe the Marvel G1 comic head.
Yeah, you're not getting either of those.
Right. But I'm saying if a third party does it, can that someone who more about this stuff than I do from a design and mechanical standpoint?
The head is on a ball joint, so like there is the possibility that it could be popped off and replaced.
Okay,
but sometimes these heads are made where they are cast in two pieces, and for lack of a better term, the cuff at the bottom of the head that fits around that ball joint is designed where it's sandwiched where the space is too small for that ball to pass through. You will either it just won't come off or you will damage something very badly. So I'm not too keen on trying to pop Blaster's head off right now experimentally. But like it's a ball joint, so the possibility exists. I just am not sure right now, like how actually feasible it is. The other possibility,
you can keep your alternate heads. Just give me a select repaint as twin cast.
Yes.
The other possibility, the hinge where the head flips around, is along the. It looks to be along the assembly seam of the torso, and the torso appears to be held together with screws. So it might be possible to just take the torso apart and get at that. If somebody wanted to make a replacement head, they'd have to also make the replacement hinge piece to go in there. But like, it would be an option potentially.
And also the pointing finger to eject, like you would give Soundwave. Him doing the eject kind of pose is iconic for him. Them putting the pointing finger on Blaster, if you can see it there. That again, that's an odd, but it's a nice little touch that you could like from the movie.
It could also function as a trigger finger.
And what I've found with that is the alternate axis of the elbow I was talking about is kind of necessary to actually make it where that finger can touch one of the buttons. Because if you use the intended elbow joint, it can't really reach. Now, mind you, the button that it can reach doing that is either the play button or the rewind button. There is no eject button sculpted on this control board.
No, because he's in the chest.
I was wondering if someone was going to pick up on that. No, I'm glad though, Don, that you mentioned the flip around speakers in the legs, because that is a nice touch. Like you can, it doesn't matter what orientation you have them in the alternate mode, but if you don't want to have an extra set of speakers pointing off to the side or wherever, you don't have to. You can flip that around for, I don't even know what you would call that in the real thing, if there even is an equivalent, but the just the louvered circles, it's something different looking.
So it just occurred
to me, and it makes it where they didn't have to compromise the transformation to make the real speakers be on the front of the legs.
It just occurred to me, like what Don's talking about the finger and the eject thing. It's like he kind of looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy pressing his belly when he does that. I hadn't thought about that.
But yeah, I'm super pleased with Blaster.
I love
if you couldn't tell.
So are we going to get the rest of the tapes as a select release? Because there's
the only thing we know right now, I have heard there's a twin cast coming out, possibly for 2023. I can't remember specifically that part, but that's going to have rewind.
But what about
that's the only other Blaster tape I'm aware of.
I haven't compared it to the Ravage and Soundwave and Ravage and Laserbeak that came out a while back. Is he larger than they are?
He seems to be very slightly taller than Rumble. I actually did the side-by-side comparison yesterday.
Well, would they fit in the tape deck?
And Soundwave.
I didn't try to put Blaster in Rumble or eject in Soundwave, but I don't see why they wouldn't. They seem like they're comparable enough
Okay.
in size that they were intentionally
Mine are
made to be
buried
uniform
somewhere. I
like
have
that.
no idea where they're at, so I couldn't do that.
I didn't bring Soundwave in here with me, or else I actually would test that live and risk breaking eject more.
Well, do you think that we'll be seeing the tapes as whatever Legacy's Legend/Core class is?
Old prediction 2022.
Like, I mean, I'm serious.
We do have we do have a listing, I think, for Studio Series 86 Rumble, which I don't know if this was like information with knowledge or someone speculating, but what I heard related to that was it might be a Micromaster cassette size thing like what we got in Siege, but with like pile driver accessories to fill out the core class mass.
Like a Studio Series eject and rewind would be great.
Especially if they're not clear plastic.
Wait, I mean, they wouldn't be, right?
Well, I mean, I'm
If
thinking
they're
of like
Studio Series.
Steeljaw. I'm thinking of Steeljaw, Ramhorn, Grand Slam, and Rain Dance.
Well,
Some of the because
Ramhorn was in Transformers the movie. What was Steeljaw?
Steeljaw
Rewind.
Okay,
Eject and Ramhorn.
The 4 original.
Mm-hmm. I think they were the only one of Blaster's cassettes that ever got any G1.
I mean, I might be misremembering the scene, but I think
cartoon time.
I think it was actually 2 Steeljaws and 2 rewinds that were seen.
Was it? Okay.
Because boy, the animation in that movie. All right, so moving on. I also bought since the last show Slammer.
Cool.
Excellent.
And Pipes, which I held up earlier. So I was actually able to like walk into Walmart and just find these one day, which was surprising to say the least. Yeah, just like my local Walmart has not had anything newer than the Trax Wave in a while. So to walk in there and find anything from the last like 5 months is kind of amazing.
I think that's how I got mine. I've seen them twice at Walmart since then.
Yeah, I mean they've been being found at Walmart and Target here and there. I only have the one Walmart to look for locally without like making a day trip. So like Pipes is okay, but I really prefer the colors on Puffer. Like the lighter blue works for me better, and just this color layout is kind of hitting me better than Pipes is. I don't know exactly what it is, but the interesting thing, which I mean a lot of people probably have noticed already, that they do have distinct head sculpts from each other. Puffer has a visor and Pipes actually has eyes and a bridge of a nose in there. So that's kind of interesting. It makes Puffer be a little bit more distinct also, which is good since Puffer shouldn't even be this body style. It should be the Huffer body in blue and white, because Puffer was a Huffer in Pipes colors. That was the whole point of the name.
So it sounds like Pipes got the animation head and Puffer got the toy head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with Slammer, especially puzzling out how the tank mode goes together the first time. Like that was a really satisfying and engaging experience to just like take all the parts of the robot apart and lay them out, not look at the instructions, and just like start putting things together and figure out like what has to fit where to make this tank. And it's a pretty good tank. Mm-hmm. The only real fault with it is just that the arms can't come quite far enough forward, in my experience, to have the turret fit exactly flush. It's still being pushed up a little bit by the pegs on the side.
I believe that's the same way on mine.
But like it's very close. Like it's definitely good enough, and it fits together pretty it's pretty sturdy when it all comes together. I've been hearing a lot that the joint tolerances on Slammer are kind of iffy, and this one tends to support that notion. Like the hinge joint in the torso is a little bit loose. The legs aren't super tight. Nothing is disastrous about it in my handling so far, but it's definitely no blaster. And then from here, we go into things that I got for my birthday from people off my Amazon wish list. So let me pull up my list to make sure I credit the right people. All right, so from Josh Wheeljack64, I have Kingdom Waspinator. And Kingdom Waspinator ended up being exactly what I expected of it, which is basically Generations 2013 Waspinator, but without the wing flapping gimmick. The engineering works very, very similarly. The layout of the beast mode, where all the parts goes, is very similar. And the overall look and feel of the robot mode is also very much the same. I think between those two toys, they kind of traded the positions of the bug legs. So you have the two bug legs on either side on the legs now, where they were on the arms of the 2013 toy. So that's slightly improved theoretically. Although it's less show accurate, because in the show, Waspinator had two bug legs coming off of each robot arm. So, you kind of win one way and lose the other. I don't know, between them, which one I prefer between this and the 2013 toy. I still think my favorite Waspinator toy is the Telemocha one from 2007. But it was the original Waspinator mold with, all the good and bad that goes with that, but just covered in paint, and it was a really pretty toy. See, then from Panda Strong, I have Kingdom Shadow Panther. And it probably will surprise no one to find out that as soon as I tried to disengage the cat head from the chest, that little tab just fell right off. Because there is not an instance of this Cheetor mold where that does not happen. But that tab is very inconsequential. The rest of the toy is perfectly fine, just like the other Cheetors are, at least, until more hinges or something crack because they use too thin plastic. But that's more just the fault of the engineering, not any specific instance of the toy. But most importantly, I've got the version of this now with the mutant head represented on it, and that makes me happy. Plus, this will go good with my covert agent Ravage. Paladin sent me Cyberverse Deluxe Slug.
Oh, nice.
This is interesting because, all at once, it worked exactly like I thought it would, but I was surprised by how complicated it was. So, all the parts go where they seem like they should, but the method of getting them there is not necessarily intuitive, and there's a lot more steps to the transformation than I expected. It's actually a pretty involved design for, a Cyberverse Deluxe. I was really surprised by that. Everything fits together nicely, and it's a pretty cool looking little dinosaur. I do have some concerns, for the longevity of the mustardy yellow plastic. It's probably not quite in the realm of gold plastic, although it is a little bit sparkly, which is always concerning. But, hopefully this will hold up well over time. And also the accessory is great too, because it's basically a shotgun that you can pull an act of.
Nice.
So I'm kind of really digging that as a just a conceptual piece, and it's got a nice little double barrel blast effect, which honestly is not going to work on anything quite right except for this gun, but it's pretty good. And if you got other blast effects around, there's actually a 3mm port on the end of the axe handle too, so you could attach another effect onto there. So that was actually pretty cool too. And then I think all that's left is two off-topic things. So Blade Raider is the last one we're covering here. He sent me the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie collection, the original movies. So 2 good movies and 2 movies that come on a disc I'll never touch, because that's the only way to get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Secret of the Ooze. Which I
thought that was Next Mutation for a second.
I don't know if that's on DVD or not.
I think it was.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well,
it looked like at least part of it.
I thought it was. I was looking for it a while back for the kids.
Yeah, it very well might have been. I don't remember. But no, it's the original movies, and I believe when I was 8 years old, I got a commercial VHS of Secret of the Ooze for either Christmas or my birthday. But beyond that or catching them on TV at some point, I haven't seen those movies in forever. So I'm looking forward to finding time to get into that.
I still enjoy the first movie to this day.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's going to be a genuinely enjoyable watch. And I think Secret of the Ooze is also going to be, going in with the knowledge that they decided to, change the tone a little bit to more suit the cartoon. That was what the main viewing audience actually wanted. And then Blade Runner also got me one of these. So what this is, it's a Bowens mount adapter for my studio lights. So the studio strobes I have are Newer brand, which I think is the same thing as Godox, for anybody who's familiar with that. They're either the same company or they have their stuff manufactured by the same people. So they're functionally identical, but they use just like tension mounted soft boxes. So, you screw it in and hold on that way. But most studio lighting accessories and stuff work on the Bowens mount, which is a really cool thing where you basically just stick the thing in, turn it to the left, and it clicks in. There's a little release button on here, or I guess on this one it's more of a lever, but there's a release to let it go. But like it clicks in, it stays solid, and it makes it really easy to switch in and out different accessories. Since the strobes I have don't use anything like that, I couldn't buy any other lighting modifiers for it unless it was a Newer or Godox product that fit on that specific diameter. With an adapter like this, I can get whatever I want to that works in the Bowens mount system, which is like 90% of everything. So
Cool.
This is going to be very useful in the fullness of time. So thank you all very much for everything you've sent. It's been really cool to get several delivery days in a row, and like thank you for giving me a fun birthday for like the whole month so far.
Cool. Okay. Who's left?
I guess me.
Okay.
Okay, so I got a bunch of stuff this week. I'll start with the on topic, which is I got all of one on topic thing, that being pipes. And yeah, I'm with Don on this. I really like the figure. Pipes was the one I had as a kid. I never found Huffer. I never saw the figure in stores. So, Pipes is the one I got, as you do when you're a kid, and it's a minor character, so it doesn't matter if you get one that looks kind of like it. And yeah, it just the shade of blue and the brightness of the white plastic are very much in line with the original toy. It looks really good. I'm pretty happy with it, and it is, however, kind of ironic that we have a pipes that cannot get completely flat. So yeah, it's just it's got the same problems in transformation that Huffer did, but I honestly don't know that I'm going to be transforming it all that much. So that's okay. It's a decent figure. And I got a bunch of other stuff that is not on topic, which I got enough of that I actually wrote it down so I wouldn't forget anything. First off, I got the Kamen Rider manga off of Amazon. That's the original 1971 comic version by the creator of Kamen Rider that ran concurrently with the original TV show. And I've never seen the original show, but it definitely deviates from the things I do know about it. So, that's some interesting differences there. And it's just overall, it's a good comic. It has very it just has a very Marvel Silver Age feel to it to me, just in the way, in the tone of the thing, and it's for like $28, $30 off of Amazon. It was like an 800-page book, so yeah, that was surprisingly large. It is a brick, and yeah, so that was pretty good. I also got Gundam G-Frame Wave 14, which is in Targets now, if you can actually get the Targets. That's Blue Destiny 1, the Afreet Custom, the Gym Command, and the Blitz Gundam, I think it is.
Yeah, that should be right.
Yeah. So far, I've only put together Blue Destiny 1, but it is really nice. It actually comes with a spare head with a red visor for exam mode. So it's a nice looking figure, and seeing that there are alternate parts for it in the Blue Destiny 2 and 3 set, that may cost me some money, but
yeah, that's what, like 50.
yeah, I'm still really liking G-Frame. Yeah, for 2 figures and accessories for a third, which is just a little hesitant. I guess that's not bad. It's what I would have paid for 2 MS in action, years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah. So let's see. I also got just to pad that out a little bit from Big Bad Toy Store. I got a couple of the Borderlands Mega Construct figures. I got the Blue Claptrap and the Psycho. So I think that's basically everything they've done for Borderlands, which I kind of like to see them do more characters out of that. That's a fun game.
I bought the Blue Claptrap at one point too, just to get the slice of pizza it came with.
That makes sense. Did any of your TMNT Mega Constructs actually come with pizza?
Oh, they must have.
Yeah, so that just got to thinking about that. But okay, so and the last thing I got for myself was GameStop had a sale on model kits and like 15-20% off, something like that. So I decided to grab like 4 of the entry grade Gundams for next year's Elf on a Shelf warmer, because those are
Cool.
Those are like they're $6 model kits, and they require absolutely no tools to complete. You can do it by hand. So I was thinking this would be just like great Christmas gifts for somebody. So that's that was, and they were like down to like $6 a piece. So yeah, stocking
nice.
some of those away for this holiday season. And while I was at it, I got myself the high grade Universal Century Unicorn Gundam Destroy mode, which it's so far is not bad. The thing about that is that that the thing that makes it interesting in terms of construction is it's made of space magic, and in this mode it actually expands to expose the like special frame inside that
Holds the space magic.
Yes, that holds space magic. So basically you have all these really bright translucent pink parts that you are building a like shock white frame around, and so far it's a pretty striking looking kit. I'm ending up liking it more than I liked previous versions of the unicorn that I'd seen. So far I've only got the torso and the torso, backpack, and head built, but I did all that like during pre-show, so that's pretty decent.
I was gonna say we need
And
another
I think-
year in review episode for you to finish the kit with.
Yeah, I only got the Freak Custom done during last show because that's a much simpler kit. But yeah, that is, I think, everything I've gotten in the last week or so.
Cool, Matt.
Okay, so Pulse finally got an art fire. So
Nice.
He is lovely. I mean, I like the Inferno grapple mold anyway. It has the improved heels that actually plug in without fear of breaking off. Not a whole lot to say about him. I like the white and red and black color scheme on a good mold. That's it for me this week.
How's your Target Master holding in there, Matt?
What's up?
How's the Target
Diecast.
Master? Oh, sorry.
Diecast.
I got
Sorry, Don. It's
I probably got
after
the
10
one
o'clock.
thing that's gonna ruin what Brian got that no one else got. I got Shattered Glass.
It's after 10 o'clock. I didn't have a chance. I'm not talking about it anyway, so you're not.
Oh, jeez, I forgot. I got that too on the table today. I forgot to bring it in the room. I got it too. I
that's
forgot
fine.
to bring it.
He looks beautiful. I really like the black and the neon green is just very striking. Really good. Yeah. But other than that, we didn't even mention, except for joking around with Don, RFC Reviews is back. I actually put 2 reviews out this week, which was Fans Toys Huffer. I forget the name of the figure. It's Huffer though. And I also put out Generations Kingdom Deluxe Pipes.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Okay. Real quick. So, of course, Blaster, Art Fire, and Jetfire, Shattered Glass Jetfire. My policy for the Shattered Glass toys is they stay in the box because they look so nice, and he's not coming out. He's gorgeous. I picked up, was it that, it was some dollar store. I don't even remember where, but they ended up having Bots Series 3 blind figures.
Nice.
So I bought like half dozen of those. All they had are like $2 each. So I was happy to see that. Kim found these at Big Lots. It's the world's smallest Transformers, but they're in new packaging.
Oh wow!
Instead of being like in the single pack, now it's in the double pack, and it's just, there's 3 figures, so there's like 2 to 3 configurations of how they come, but they're in a little box.
I think that packaging variation has been at Target also.
Possible. It's the first time I've come across it.
Mm-hmm.
Don sent me some stuff, and I'm happy to get it. The Battle Damage, He-Man, and Battle Cat, and the Stone Cold Steve Austin Masters of the Universe figure. Super pleased to get that. Thank you, Don. And Amazon sent me Stridor. 2 more things real quick. I forgot even where I got this. Maybe it's on the package. Five Below, I think. Transformers Kite. You color it. It's a kite. I'm not opening it. It's never flying. And I mentioned this, I think, a week or 2 back, but I actually have it in hand now, and I'll just show them off really quickly. For Christmas, Dusty, my buddy Dusty, at RPGLL podcast on Twitter, got the Transformers Monopoly set, the most recent one that came out, and he, just like the minis from D&D or Tabletop, painted the Transformers for me. Yeah, so hand painted. So Starscream, Megatron, Soundwave. I really love how Soundwave turned out, even though he hates it. I think he came out the best. Grimlock, who he didn't know immediately who Grimlock was. It's like, who's that? I think it's Grimlock. Optimus. And I'm hiding his actual paint job there in my hand. Optimus, I'm like, I'm holding the toy. And Bumblebee. And I think that's all I got this week. But I want to thank our patrons. It's touched here. tfradio.net/Patreon or patreon.com/tfradio. They both work. You can find the list at tfradio.net/credits. And like I said, if you're a patron, it's a touch tier. We have physical rewards that are finally coming out. And if you've ever actually been a patron at the touch tier, whether you are no longer a patron, you should be a patron, or you've downgraded to another tier, let me know. The folks that are no longer patrons, I've contacted, but if you are a formerly touched patron, but now you're leaving money on the table, or you're a matrix bearer, etc., let me know, because I don't know that I have an accounting of those. But everybody who was a touched patron is getting the cards, as long as you tell me, as long as you don't tell me you don't want them. But our touched patrons: Kevin Dorsey, Ryan Bona, Emmett Stresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, Ness, Joey Russell, Jason Hiley, Mike Mallory, Jay Rye, Sean Hamilton, Jacob Owen Lutza, Sean Bratton, or Boomer, Spider Bob, Tyrell Gwynn, Paul Schreiber, Rick Mahurin, who did an amazing job remodeling his house. He sent me pictures today. They look great. And Blake Reynolds. So he is no longer on Twitter. He was on Twitter, but his Twitter got banned. So he texted them to me. But
Rick. Yeah.
Yeah, Rick, yeah. So not Blake. Blake is still on Twitter and on our Discord.
Yeah. Panda Strong.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so thank you all. And if you want to be a patron, go to patreon.com/tfradio. You can find everything that we do at tfradio.net for the most part, except for Diecast last 2 reviews, which I will post. They'll be on tfradio.net, as well as our Roku channel at tfradio.net/Roku. I'll get those up here in a couple days. But we're on Twitter at tfradio and at Facebook at facebook.com/tfradio. We're on Instagram, TF Podcast. A lot of places. John DeLuna, who is not here, he is at that John D everywhere. Rob Springer, not here. Rob Springer. And at zonebase.org. I'm on Twitter at bkilby, and on Instagram at Brian Kilby, and I'm also at briankilby.com. So there's a lot of stuff there. Diecast, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, you can get a hold of me. Well, before you get a hold of me, first thing you need to do is go to youtube.com, find RFC reviews, like, and hit the little notification icon,
Yes.
and leave a comment on one of my videos. It helps me out. And then also you can follow me on Twitter at diecast2, because if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see when my reviews come out. And if you hit the notification on YouTube, you'll see when my reviews come out. That way you don't miss anything, because I'm going to start doing more and more. I'm reinvigorated, and I can,
Time.
what's that?
You have time.
Yeah, a little bit more time.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Yeah. New job.
Yeah.
New job, new you.
So I'm excited. I just ordered a new camera mount that's going to be here tomorrow.
What kind of
no,
camera?
Friday. No, just the mount.
No, but what kind of camera are you using?
I'm using still just a camcorder.
Your Sony? Was it Sony?
Yeah, Sony.
That's right. Okay.
Those are pretty
So,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works good. It's like the camera mount I'm actually getting, or the mount mounts on the side, and then it's got a straight arm that comes out, and it's got one dial, so I can easily go up and down without going left or right or
neat.
anything. So,
Yeah.
And that way I can get a little bit closer to the table, because that's like the hardest thing to do. Is I'm like, the chair has to be back so far because of the tripod I'm using.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit uncomfortable.
This sounds so
to do
familiar.
the reviews. And I want to try and make it as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
That way it's easier to do.
I bought Kim a new Nikon
Wise
Z5,
move.
which means I get the D5300. So I want to do like more video stuff with the 5300, and she can have the Z5 all she wants.
I need to dust my camera.
Yeah, I hardly ever do anything. I want to take more photos. So.
I need to do more than I do.
I just, I was never really set up in a convenient way for it when I was doing the stuff for T-Formers anyway. And just now that I'm not, and also there's a new cat wandering around this floor, I'm not really,
yeah.
She is a very high energy kitten, and I don't think I want to try and photograph anything with her around.
Totally.
You can try photographing the kitten.
Yeah.
You'll need a fast shutter though.
Yep.
I mean, I will one way or another end up photographing the kitten if I try and have a flat surface with a camera and a light in front of it.
Nice.
So
What else, Diecast?
You can follow me, or you can like my page on Facebook, or follow it on, and that's at Reviews by Diecast. Ooh, almost forgot for a second.
You need a cheat sheet like I have.
Yeah, sometimes brain just doesn't work after.
That's why I
late.
have a cheat sheet,
It's late.
Diecast.
Cool. Hey, Chris, you have a cheat sheet.
I do. I also have a birthday coming up. So birthday me at tfradio.net/chrislist if you're so inclined.
Birth you? I don't think that's possible.
Yeah,
It's a little late for that.
No, there's still time. Amazon's fast sometimes. I also am on Patreon, so patronize me at patreon.com/playwithphotos. That's how you can support my toy photography work at playwithphotography.com. You can also follow that on Twitter at playwithphotos, and I'm personally on Twitter at chrisrtxv. I think that covers everything.
Cool. Looking at your Amazon wish list, are you saying that you have the first and second seasons of Perfect Strangers on DVD?
I'm saying those are out of production.
Oh, okay.
And apparently, even when they were like seasons 3 through 8 were mastered to a much higher quality for those DVD releases. Seasons 1 and 2 on DVD were much older and, by all accounts, very bad quality.
Sad.
But importantly, season 3 has like really important episodes like Pipe Dreams, and I think that's where the Baby Bobkas come from.
Oh, okay, cool. I need to check that out. I haven't watched that in years. That was a great.
Perfect
show,
Strangers holds up so
really
amazingly well.
I loved it. I loved Perfect Strangers.
The last time we were all able to get together, and by all I mean me, Matt, and Hey Mickey, all in one place, we sat and watched episodes of Perfect Strangers, and we were just like unerringly delighted. It was amazing.
Yes.
That's awesome. Don.
I miss the old world.
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4, EVR, and wherever spiffy denim shirts are sold.
Very
You can
cool.
also be reached at your local hospital when Massey attacks.
That's true.
Yeah.
Rob.
Okay. A cheat sheet sounds like a good idea. I
It
do this
is.
from memory every week.
You do really good though.
Okay, well, thank you. I can be found on Twitter at Rob Flails, which is the Twitter account for Flailthroughs, my YouTube channel. That is at youtube.com/flailthroughs, and mostly covering Gundam games at the moment. Just Gundam Battle Operation 2 this week. Did not have the energy to do G Generation on the nights I have time to record it this week, sadly. So hopefully next week on that. This last week in GBO2, we got a mobile suit, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. Oh, the Girazulu, also from Gundam Unicorn. So, and it's not bad. Very, very basic, but does all the basic things it does very well.
Cool.
But if you want to see what's up in GBO2 every week, every Thursday morning, I have an update video for that. If you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, you can request things in various games I'm playing. And I have a wish list at tfradio.net/playlist.
Cool. Hey, I always wanted to do this during the show, but I don't think that I ever caught it, but I caught it this time. New patron during the show, Vegemite Mike. So thank you very much.
Interesting name.
Yeah, it looks like he sets a touch tier, so thank you very much. We'll make sure that you're mentioned every week. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, sweet. Hey, if you want me to thank you during the live stream, it's always a great idea just to join up and I'll make a point to watch. So patreon.com/TFradio. Okay, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that, but like just the likelihood that somebody would actually do it is pretty
Yeah,
low.
I think that's happened like once before.
Yeah. So yeah, sweet. Okay. Did I stop recording here?
All right, I'm out.
Yeah.
Recording
Good night.
stopped.
Good night.
Take care,
people
Diecast.
watching live. I'm about to crash. I'm not
Yeah.
like,
I really need to get out of this chair because I've been super uncomfortable for the last half hour.
but I have
Oh,
to
jeez.
say, I'm not slurring my speech. I am not like confused or like any of that stuff. I'm just tired, and it's like a normal person, and it's wonderful.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's good.
Hooray.
Yeah, sweet. So
And Don's already nodded off.
don't your friend's gonna leave. He's drunk.
Say, can we put denim shirts on the Massey attack list?
Of course, we can put denim
yes.
skirts on the Massey attack
We
list.
can do that. Yeah. Hey, people watching live, we're gonna wrap up because it's late.
Yeah.
But we'll see you next week.
Predictions took it out of us,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.